Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of The Racer's Edge. I'm your host, Tanner Schmidt, and with me today, driver of the 37 stock car, Jason Rogers. How are you today?
Oh, doing good. It's a little hot out here today.
It is quite warm here at the RPM Speedway in Hayes. What do you think that's going to do to the racing surface here tonight?
With that wind and this heat, it's going to be slick.
Now, what do you prefer, a real slick track? Or you like it somewhere in between, or wet and tacky? What fits your style of running?
Well, I've always said I like a track with character. It might be kind of like a half slick, maybe a hole here, rut there. It seems to be that's when I'm the best, is when I gotta find a new groove or use a hole or a rut to my advantage. The super slick stuff just isn't in my forte. I can do it, but I'm not a super slick type guy.
Definitely now. I was just talking with another driver over here in the pits, and he likes tracks with character. It really helps him. It really helps you hone your skill as a driver. Is that kind of what you're thinking on that one?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you got to be able to read the track. It's the line's going to be moving throughout the race, and then learning how to use it to your advantage to get through traffic.
Now, this is questions I ask everybody when I start these interviews. Where did racing start for you? What made you want to be a driver?
Probably started high school friend. His dad raced modifieds, and always looked up to him. Thought that was pretty cool. Kind of built my own go-kart and kind of racing around the farm. Just had the need for speed. Motorcycles, and tried snowcross when I was up in the mountains, and got back home and decided I'd build a car.
And you found your way to the IMCA stock cars. Is that where you started in IMCA racing the stocks, or did you have to work your way up down from what used to be the Bombers, now the hobby stocks? Or
Yeah, I started out in Bombers, which is basically a hobby stock with lead and a quick steer, and so we started there for 2 years, and then we went into the stock car and been there for 16 years now in the stock cars. Now I got my son in a hobby, so we're trying to learn that game all over again.
So, now what's the big difference? Obviously, a lot of horsepower stuff going from hobby to stock. What else is there to learn, try to wrangle when you're moving up classes?
It's not so much the horsepower, it's so much better brakes in the stock car. The tires do play a different game because the radials on the hobbies will bite in situations the IMCA tire won't. A lot more setup to the stock car, but I'm learning there's a lot of stuff to these hobbies to play with, a lot more than when I tried it.
Trying to go back and figure out what to do, and definitely. Now, any particular reason for the 37, or did that just kind of eeny, meeny, miny, mo, this is going to be number, here we go?
Well, no, there's no real reason for it, I guess. Watched a guy running a mini sprint that had a number 37 on it, and looked up to him when I was a kid, and so I guess I had the 37 when I played football in high school, and so when I started racing, I put a 37 on it.
It's kind of the number that's followed you everywhere you go. Now, there's little kids everywhere in the stands that look up to you guys and want to get into the sport. Do you have any advice for them with trying to come up into the sport?
Find a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely not a cheap sport racing.
And just tons of hard work. I mean, it's not just show up here at the track and we're going to go racing. There's hours and hours we put in the shop. A lot of middle of the night stuff, swapping out a motor or rebuilding something if we've crashed. But it takes lots and lots of hard work.
And that's what most fans don't see. They just see you unload here, race around the track, and some of them, that's all they think you do is just, drop it off the track, go around in circles.
Yeah, I wish it was that easy.
But I bet. Now, do you have any social media or anything that you keep up on for the fans that aren't here at the racetrack so they can see how you're running throughout the year?
I normally try to post a fair amount of stuff on Facebook. I'm not a real good poster on there. But I do have my YouTube channel, which I post a lot of I run a camera inside the car, and normally I have most of my videos on my YouTube channel.
I've been a viewer of that a couple times. I've watched some races, old races back when Joaquini, when you ran there on YouTube. And now, I know earlier conversation of racing isn't a cheap sport, but is there kind of a payback list in drivers' mind? Not specifically you, but some drivers out there with, if you do me wrong, I'm going to take it out on you? Or?
No, I've always tried to have that's one of the keys, I think, to kind of my success was having a short-term memory, and it just, everyone's races me clean. I race them clean. We have good times. I want us all to be friends and family out here, so I just don't think there's a need in any rough driving or anything like that. So, there's times you got to make questionable calls and make it 3 wide, 4 wide, 5 wide. Just you got to go for it, but you're not going to take somebody out to do it.
Definitely. And now, early part of the season, you found some success. You swept so far you swept last weekend in Colby. Are you kind of where you want to be this season, or is there still room for improvement, you think?
We're always improving. Bill Stein, they're a sponsor of mine and Shocks. They just sent us a new set. We're going to work on dialing in. We're kind of getting this car figured out. We built this car over the winter. Built it probably in about 2 weeks, and we took it to Texas and raced the Texas Series and had a lot of fun down there, but kind of struggled early in the year getting the car dialed in, and I think we got it pretty well. We're getting pretty close now.
Yeah, you're starting to pick it up now. And now, racing moment that kind of stands out to you throughout your career that just, sticks with you and it's going to be there up until your old age and you're retired from racing. You can look back and, that was a great time.
I don't know. I've had a lot of great races. Just meet so many new people, and big show racing's what I love. Tour racing. I love when, like 2 years ago, went to Arizona, hang out with some good friends down there. Went to Texas, hang out with a lot of great people. Just racing here at Hayes, love it. Colby's really getting really good right now. I guess probably as far as a actual race, it's probably been 4 years ago. We made the trip down to Thunder Hill, down at Mayetta, and happened to be Mike Nichols was there that night. And me and him had one heck of a battle, just slide job crossover for 8-9 laps in a row. Just made for a real exciting race.
Definitely always fun when you can run up there with Mike Nichols. He kind of wipes everybody clean at tracks he shows up sometimes, especially around here in Hayes. And now, what tracks are you going to be hitting this year so fans can come out and watch your race and support you?
Primarily, we're just running Thomas County and here at Hayes for points. I see there's a race coming up at Waukene I try to hit. Plan on going up to North Platte for the Wild West show, I think on the 19th. And just kind of hit and miss whenever we can. It comes down to tour. I don't know, kind of got in the back of my mind, maybe if I could work it out to go to Dakota Tour, but I don't know yet.
Definitely. That's going to be all the time we have for this episode of The Racer's Edge. Thank you again, Jason, for stopping by.
Yes, thank you for doing this.
And hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you next time.